anxiety, anger, depression. It is difficult for all people to cope with these problems, and now psychological studies are showing that teenagers struggle with them more than ever before, and in some ways worse than adults. This year's class presidential candidates were assigned a mental health issue to research and create a plan to help relieve and support students suffering from these issues at Hedgesville High School. This debate will discuss those plans to shine light on these problems and to show the accountability, responsibility, and strength of your candidates as leaders. 1 in 12 teens have some sort of anger disorder, which can lead to a more difficult lifestyle and can lead to violent tendencies. We begin with Leslie and Caitlin. You may now begin.
Anger issues are prevalent in high school students' lives and can affect their daily lives dramatically. Our plan would be to incorporate into Obeas, since anger issues can lead to bullying, and also form a support group where they can meet with their friends or they can meet with someone individually.
This plan would help because there are a ton of different people that have this issue, but they're not comfortable to come and speak with someone. They can be ashamed of themselves, or there's all kinds of things that they could be feeling that prevents them from getting help for this situation. So providing them an outlet may help them deal with their issues, and it would be incorporating it into Obeas would create awareness for other people who may not experience it themselves, but have to deal with it while interacting with other people in school.
Thank you. All right, Rachel, Lynn, you may begin.
Okay, so our plan to combat anger issues in the school is to set up an anger box. And it will be a little locked box so that nobody else can get in it, and you can write your name and the name of a person or student that you would like to meet with to discuss your anger issues, to discuss really any problems that you have in a one-on-one private setting.
We will pull these cards on Tuesday, so that way we can set up a schedule and set up a time where we can pull you out during Obeas and kind of make it your own Obeas, so you can have a one-on-one discussion with whoever you put on that card. So we can make it your Obeas instead of like the regular schedule. So.
All right, thank you. We now move on to the cross-examination section. Leslie and Caitlin, you will have the first question. How does your plan address proven methods for combating this problem?
So part of our plan is talking with someone individually or as a group, and anger issues oftentimes people need an outlet, so talking to someone about that is a good way to get things out rather than just stuffing them in and letting them just fester over time. So letting that out and actually being able to address the problem with a solution from somebody who has like a professional experience with that would help, rather than just talking to friends who maybe don't always have the best advice for your health situation.
Thank you. Now, then Rachel, you have the same question, which is, how does your plan address proven methods for combating this problem?
As Caitlin said, one-on-one conversation is a really good way to alleviate any sort of anger, any sort of stress that you have, which is, both of our plans include that. And I think that either one of these plans would be great, and that no matter who gets elected, we should definitely set one of these up, because it's not about the election, but it's about the students.
Yes. Thank you. The next question is, what is the reality of your proposition? Have you spoken to faculty, guidance, or leaders in the community? Leslie, Caitlin, you may begin.
We have spoken with guidance counselors, teachers, as well as the students in the school, and teachers agree that it is a very good plan and that they would be willing to incorporate it into their Obeas schedules, and guidance counselors have agreed to meet with the students who are battling anger issues, and students say that if they would recommend their peers to this group.
Thank you. Len, Rachel, you have the same question. What is the reality of your proposition? Have you spoken to faculty, guidance, or leaders in the community?
We've spoken to one teacher individually, Miss Berry. She was very open to it, and she's willing to let us set up a box in her room to make it more, so that way you're not putting it out somewhere in the open. So we will continue to talk to other teachers about setting a box in their rooms, and talking to guidance counselors especially, because that's what they're here for. They're here to help you. So if we can make a pathway or an opportunity to make that easier for you, we're willing to do that.
The next question is, will your plan maintain students' privacy while still supporting them? Leslie, Caitlin, you may begin.
Yes, our plan, like we said, would be with professionals within the school So they already have different laws and things they have to follow regarding privacy with their students. But I think privacy is definitely something that will help ensure that people are able to actually come forward and speak about the issues that they have without feeling any kind of hesitant about it.
And as we said before, you could do either a group or in one-on-one individually, so that way if they don't want to speak in front of a group, they have to come from
Lynn and Rachel, you now have 30 seconds. The question is, will your plan maintain students' privacy while still supporting them?
Yes, as I said, the box will be locked and only Rachel and I will have the key to it, and the class advisor, obviously. So no one else can get in it. Once you put your name, your ballot in it, the only other person who's going to see it is us, and then whoever you speak with.
So, like she said, it's super customizable, and it's really up to you whether or not you want to do it one-on-one or with a big group, or who you want the person, like who you want the person to look at the card. Yes.
The next question is, how do you plan to receive student engagement in this process? You may begin.
The school itself has multiple different platforms that this information can be given out to via, I know Guidance has a website of their own, the home webpage for the high school. ENN could also blast different things out about it, and just through word of mouth. I'm sure people who really need this service, there's not really anything like this that I know of, so I'm sure they'd be, just hearing it would get them to be involved in it, because it's probably something they really need.
They'd be willing to reach out.
All right. Rachel, Lynn, how do you plan to receive student engagement in this process?
We're just going to make it available. We know that there are people who have issues, people who just want to sit down and talk one-on-one with someone and just get their stress out. And we know that if you want to do something, that you're going to go for it and you're going to do it. So like they said, putting it on ENN, just getting people aware that we have this program.
Talking about it and making it relatable, and just using the platforms that we have to create opportunities for you guys.
All right. And the last question is, highlight the process by which you created this proposition and the steps that you took.
I spoke to teachers that are willing to incorporate this into their available schedule, as well as guidance counselors who want to stay after school, and as well as students who want to do this and will recommend their peers to do this. So that's how I made this plan.
All right, and Lynn and Rachel, highlight your proposition.
Okay, so what we started out with doing is doing some research on anger management, and we found that one-on-one conversation and therapy and counseling is one of the best ways to solve this problem. So we kind of built off that, and that's how we came up with the box and the one-on-one conversations with students or teachers.
And the next step would just be to talking to more teachers and putting the box out there. So.
Great. Now we'll move on to closing statements. We'll have Rachel and Lynn start us off with those. You have 45 seconds, and you can begin.
So yeah, just really, we wanted to make this customizable for you guys and really reach out and just kind of experiment. That's kind of our motto for this year going into our senior year. Just experimenting and being more relatable with you guys.
Right, and our main focus for next year is benefiting the individual to benefit our class.
Thank you.
All right. And Caitlin and Leslie, you want me to begin?
Creating this program would just be another way that we can get involved with our classmates and attempt to be a help to them. Although not everybody may see it as a problem in our school, there are definitely so many people that have different circumstances in their lives that you never see going on. So even if it just impacts one student, we think that that one student is worth it. And being able to just reach out to you guys and extend a hand and kind of try to bring our class together more so than it has been before is one of our biggest goals. So this is one attempt at trying to do that, as well as different things we'll be incorporating throughout the year next year.
And our main goal is to make senior year as best and as memorable as possible, and if we can make that easier for you, then we would love to.
All right, thank you very much. That wraps it up for this debate. Thank you all for being here, and we'll be right back with our second presidential debate. Welcome Welcome to the second part of the senior debates. Presidential candidates are Taylor Swagger and Camden Rebuck with his vice presidential candidate David Otto. The rules remain the same as the last debate. David and Camden, you will begin. You have 45 seconds.
So, as class president, I plan to work toward helping the class solve their problem with anger issues, and I'll collaborate with my vice president, David Otto, to solve this. We plan to bring in a public speaker named Rashawn Dozier. He's a very exciting guy. He can relate to people that are our age. He'll talk about things like stress, creating motivation, and anger issues. Anger issues is not a large problem in our school, but it is a problem, and it can be dealt with, and it can be solved very easily.
Right, and the second part of our plan is to, since it's not a large problem in our school, our plan is to target those individuals who struggle with those issues. So like after a fight, we're going to provide resources to those ones involved in the actual fight itself, and that way we can just really just lower the interactions with everybody.
Thank you. Taylor, you may begin.
Anger issues, yes, are not the biggest problem we have in our school, but I think we already have students with the opportunity to talk one-on-one with teachers and guidance counselors, because you can already go to the front office for that. I found that anger issues stem a lot from stress and feelings of like being overwhelmed, and I like to provide students with like notebooks to schedule things, prioritize, and in addition to that, I'd like to make more free time in our school day. Instead of every day doing all this, we could set up more on-campus activities for students to offset some of the stresses.
Now we'll move on to the cross-examination portion of this. David and Camden, you all received the first question. How does your plan address proven methods for combating this problem?
So basically, the method that most professionals use is sitting down with the individual one-on-one and discovering the triggers to the problems before they or after they happen. So the only way that the triggers can be actually discovered is in an after-the-fact setting. So that's why we plan to provide resources to those involved in fights or in arguments or in public anger issues where it's seen, and then we can provide those with them so they can discover their triggers and hopefully prevent occurrences in the future.
Taylor, you have the same question. How does your plan address proven methods for combating this problem?
So the best proven method to combat anger issues is just talking it out, calming yourself, and then figuring out what the root of the problem is. And I think that by implementing some of these other activities and prioritizing, you can take away from the stresses and the feelings of being overwhelmed, and I think it would be a positive outlet for these people.
The next question is, what is the reality of your proposition? Have you spoken to faculty, guidance, or leaders in the community?
So my proposition can be easily put into action. I've already talked to many administrators, including Mr. Lyons, Mr. Hatter, and Ms. Milliman. We plan to bring Mr. Dozier in and speak in the auditorium to the entire class of 2019. He's very excited. He's ready to go, and he wants to meet you guys.
Great. And what is the reality of your proposition, Taylor?
Well, I haven't talked to the administrators as much yet. I have spoken to people like my dad who suffers from these issues, and from what I've heard from other students, I feel like this would be the best course of action.
Great. The next question is, will your plan maintain students' privacy while still supporting them?
See, our two-step process encompasses everybody in the school, and it's not singling people out and making them seen by everybody. Is with the public speaker coming in, it's going to be everybody, an entire student body in one place. So it's going to be a collective effort, and privacy is very important to our office. And because of this, no one's privacy is going to be affected in any way, and because it will all be accomplished through a collective effort.
Will your plan maintain students' privacy while still supporting them?
Yes, it will, because similarly to Camden and David's plan, it will encompass all students, and it will target students who need help too, because they have the opportunity and tools and resources to go and talk to these teachers and guidance counselors if need be.
All right. The next question is, how do you plan to receive student engagement in this process?
So students will be allowed, it will be their choice if they want to go out of class to hear Mr. Dozier speak in the auditorium. But Mr. Dozier's goal is to help every single person out. So you'll be able to speak one-on-one with him, take pictures with him, talk to him about your issues, whether it's anger issues, stress, anything like that. He's very excited and he wants to meet you guys.
All right. And then how do you plan to receive student engagement in this process?
For the journal notebook issue, any students who want one, we can get the fundraising together and purchase them. And students could just go up to the front office or to the guidance wing and pick them up. And for students who want to go and do other things during the Ova's time, I'm hoping with the collaboration of the administration that will be an opportunity.
And last question before we move on to closing statements. Highlight the process by which you created this proposition, the steps that you took.
All right, so basically what we did was we talked to the student body as well as the school administration, and we did this just kind of to get a real clear understanding of the overall severity of the problem within our school and what steps need to be taken, what steps have already been taken to address this issue. And from here we developed a plan that tried to focus on the majority of students without sacrificing their time and their high school experience, all the while highlighting those individuals who need special attention and special help without ignoring their problems.
Thank you. And Taylor, highlight the process by which you created this proposition.
So I started with talking to people who I know and guidance counselors because they're the ones who deal primarily with these students with anger issues. And from what I've gotten feedback from my guidance counselors and my parents, I kind of figured out my plan from there. I found that dwelling on things isn't the best answer, and you need a lot of motivation in surrounding yourself with good people. And I think by learning to prioritize and having more free time to channel your feelings in other ways, it'll help.
Great. Thank you. We'll now move on to closing statements. As David and Camden started us off, Taylor, you're going to start us off with a closing. We'll have 45 seconds, and you can begin.
From experience with my friends and family and many students at school, anger has stemmed from stress and feelings of being overwhelmed. And I feel that by channeling these feelings into different activities and better time management would help provide a solution and better prevention of this problem.
And Camden, David, you all can begin too.
So as the president of the class of 2019, I would do my very best to promote the arts, school clubs, and sports teams to provide the best senior year possible for all of us. Remember, our campaign is not just about policies, it's about creating the best high school experience that we can have. We hope that you will make the right choice and vote for a change in our school. Thank you.
Anxiety is the second most thought of mental disorder among teenagers. Nationally, 8% of teens ranging 13 to 18 have an anxiety disorder, and only 18% receive the care needed. Welcome to the Junior Debates. Candidates for President are Bridget Hall and Isabella Forte, with Vice Presidents Megan Meyer and Morgan Sherwood. Rules remain the same. Megan and Bridget will begin with their 45-second proposal. You may begin.
Hi, my name is Bridget Hall, and I'll be running for your junior class president. My name is Megan Meyer, and I'm running for the junior class vice president. Our plan is to create a club which will be an in-school escape from the outside pressures of classes, academics, sports, other clubs, and situations. I'll personally implement this plan by raising awareness with the students about this student-based group, which will help to alleviate stress and anxiety.
In order to make this program a success, I plan on finding the support of administrators and our faculty so that they can really get behind this student organized program.
Right. Morgan, Isabella, you may begin.
Hi, I'm Isabella Fort, and I'm running for your upcoming junior class president.
And I'm Morgan Sherwood, and I'm running for your upcoming junior vice president.
During all 3 lunches, we will offer help concerning those students who are affected by anxiety. We will offer one-on-one talks, and we will also offer anything they need regarding anxiety.
We plan to have an open forum where people can talk, and there's a study proven that meditation helps reduce anxiety. So we'll have some days where we can meditate and talk about our problems, and if there's a problem where they need to talk one-on-one, we will open a forum where they can talk to us privately and they feel more comfortable with us.
All right, now we'll move on to the cross-ex. Let's see, Morgan and Isabel, you will have the first question. The first question is, how does your plan address proven methods for combating this problem?
We plan to combat anxiety by conducting lunch and learns and by working together to include everyone affected by anxiety and not affected. We plan to have an open forum, like I said earlier, where everyone is comfortable and they can talk about their problems and maybe create friends and bonds, but help to reduce anxiety mainly.
All right. Megan, Bridget, you may begin.
Usually, anxiety is treated with either medication or cognitive behavioral therapy, but obviously since we can't provide medication for the students, I think our take on this problem is more like cognitive behavioral therapy, where we'll be able to talk to the students and give them a place where they can pretty much block out all their stresses. They can learn to cope with it in different ways and think about their different situations in a better light.
All right, thank you. The next question is, what is the reality of your proposition? Have you spoken to faculty, guidance, or leaders in the community? Morgan, Isabella, you'll start us off.
Okay, the reality of our issue, we conducted polls and we had an 89% to 11%, and 93 people voted and 89% were affected by anxiety. So we figured this was a pretty big issue that we needed to address. We figured that our open forums talks and creating bonds throughout our agenda will create a stop to this problem.
All right, thank you. Megan, Bridget, you have the same question, which is, what is the reality of your proposition? Have you spoken to faculty, guidance, or leaders in the community? You may begin.
Yes, actually we've spoken to the guidance counselors here at Hedgesville, and we currently have their support. We have a meeting planned with Mr. Lyons where we will talk to him, hopefully to get this approved for next year.
The next question is, will your plan maintain students' privacy while still supporting them? You have 30 seconds.
We plan to have an open forum, like we've said before, where everyone is welcome to talk no matter what. However, if they feel like they need to talk or they don't feel comfortable in an open forum, they can talk to us one-on-one. We actually made a thing, it's going to be a much smaller version, where they can fill out their name, their first period, fifth period, and their lunch, so we can meet with them and talk to them about their problems. And if it's serious enough, we could bring in guidance counselors with the situation.
All right, thank you. The next question is directed to Bridget and Megan. You guys have the same one, which is, will your plan maintain students' privacy while still supporting them?
Most definitely. We think that's very important. It's up to the student. If they want to come, then we are here to provide as much support as they want. They don't have to worry about talking about their problems. If they just need somewhere to relax, then we can offer that. If they need somewhere to find help, maybe from an upperclassman, then we can provide that, because stress can take over and we don't always want to talk about it.
All right. The fourth question today is, how do you plan to receive student engagement in this process? Morgan, as well, you guys can begin.
We think that our social platforms will help with engaging all students, and we want to involve everyone, even if they're not affected by anxiety. We want to involve those who are not infected, because we feel like they could help the others who are affected, and anyone's opinion and advice on how to help would definitely try to end anxiety.
All right. And Megan and Bridget, how do you plan to receive student engagement in this process?
As president, I want to directly talk to the students, like more one-on-one. We could put up signs, possibly do an ENN segment, and get connected with the students, like on a personal level, where they have the opportunity to talk to us about it before coming if they'd like, or just to show up.
Great. Last question, and then we'll continue to closing statements. Highlight the process by which you created this proposition, the steps that you took. You may begin.
We thought about this at first, where there's lunch and learns and several colleges where you can go and learn about something and ways to cope with things. So we thought that doing it with anxiety and students that are affected by it would be beneficial. So we are going to have students come in and let them talk about their problems, and if they need to, of course, reach out to us personally.
All right, and Megan and Bridget, highlight the process you took of coming up with this plan.
We know that Old Bayes can be kind of a chore for people, so we want to take that time something like that during the week where they can use something to benefit themselves in a way other than, I guess, bullying. Bullying is obviously an important issue. But we have a way where they can come and help themselves, and I don't know, we just sort of took off from there, you know. If we can't find Olveus, then after talking to Miss Tyson, we were able to take another step into our program.
Great, thank you. All right, we'll move on to closing statements. As Megan and Bridget started us off, we'll have Morgan and Isabel start out closing statements. You all have 45 seconds, and you can begin.
We plan to involve everyone and get everyone aware of the issue that we have here. We want to make sure that anyone feels welcome to our way of combating anxiety.
We also think that if everyone's included in the school, we believe that they will have a part of what our decisions are, and we think that's a big priority of having everyone's opinion, and this can help reduce anxiety and be included and have more people involved with the school.
We need to make sure that we have administrators aware, and we need to make sure that we have authority higher than us aware of the problem that we have.
Thank you. And now, Megan and Bridget, you all can begin with your closing statements.
Anxiety is an important problem, and learning how to cope with anxiety now can definitely help us when we graduate and go to college. So this plan will definitely help teaching important skills to our students.
By speaking to our fellow students, we've come up with this plan, which we believe will greatly help us. So, vote Bridget Hall and Megan Meyer for your junior class president, vice president. All right, thank you all for joining us today. You all had excellent proposals. We will be right back with the sophomore debates. Depression is a frequently considered mental health illness among teenagers. It is a leading mental illness in the world. 20% of teenagers will have been affected with depression by adulthood. Welcome to the last debate, which will host our sophomore candidates for president and vice president. Caitlin Hadley is the upcoming sophomore class president candidate, and Grace Kramer will be her vice president. To start this off, they're going to keep with the same rules as our last debates, so that you all can begin with your 40-second beginning.
So hi, my name is Caitlin Hadley. I'm running for class president.
I'm Grace Kramer. I'm running for vice president.
And today we want to address the issue of mental health and depression.
We want to find an effective plan that helps bring light to the situation and find a solution for the situation.
All right, your first question is, how does your plan address proven methods for combating this problem?
So our plan addresses proven methods is because people need to be aware of the situation to act on it. So informing everybody during 10 minutes of Olveus will definitely bring information about depression to all students.
All right. And the next question is, what is the reality of your proposition? Have you spoken to faculty, guidance, or leaders in the community?
We have spoken to faculty and guidance, and we believe it is a very serious issue, like said before. Taking 10 minutes out of Olveus would be really effective because Olveus is already incorporated into our schedule, and it's something that will get the point across. Every classroom does it, and it can be very helpful.
All right. And will your plan maintain students' privacy while still supporting them?
Yes, privacy is our number one thing that we want to keep to our students. We don't want anybody's business going around, but we still do want them to know that there is people out there that will talk to them and help them through their depression, but still maintaining their privacy.
How do you plan to receive student engagement in this process?
I plan to receive student engagement by our social media pages. We have a Twitter and an Instagram, and I think publicly posting something about it will definitely get students involved and engaged about what we are trying to do.
My plan would be to hang posters up around the school, talk to teachers, spread the word for those who may not have social media or cannot have access to the internet.
And lastly, highlight the process by which you created this proposition, the steps that you took.
First, we researched what we wanted to address. We wanted to address depression as itself and ways to prevent it and ways to cope with it.
And then you have 45 seconds as a closing statement.
We appreciate everyone who has been involved in the process, and we are going to be appreciative of everyone who's going to be involved in the future process of trying to address this situation.
Remember to vote Caitlin Hadley and Grace Kramer as your class officers for the class of 2021.
And that concludes this year's presidential debates. We hope it was informative and helpful. The voting will take place tomorrow. Vote wisely with your class depending on it.